New Google G-Tro is insane. You're spending hours telling your AI what to do, step by step, prompt by prompt. That's how coding agents work right now. Google just quietly started building something that changes all of that. No more babysitting your AI. Just tell it the goal and let it figure out the path. And if you miss this one, you're going to be way behind. Hey, I'm the digital avatar of Julian Goldie, and I help people learn and actually use AI tools in their work. If that's what you're here for, you're in the right place. Today we're talking about Google G-Tro. What it is, why it matters, and what you need to know right now before this thing even launches publicly. First, I need to catch you up on what else dropped this week, because G-Tro doesn't exist in a vacuum. OpenAI, Anthropic, and ZDI all had major releases too, and they're all pointing the same direction. Let's get into it. Let's start with OpenAI because they've been doing something sneaky. OpenAI is quietly testing a next-generation image model called Image V2. Showed up on LM Arena under codenames like Masking Tape Alpha and Gaffer Tape Alpha. That's how they test without tipping off the competition. The testers say it's a real step forward. AI image tools have always struggled with text. Ask it to write on a sign or button and it comes out garbled. Image V2 is reportedly fixing that. Correctly spelled text, better prompt accuracy, cleaner UI rendering. Pulled it from the leaderboard over the weekend, but some ChatGPT users are still seeing it. That's usually a sign a launch is close. Now let's talk about Anthropic because this is the one that actually rattled the industry this week. Anthropic just released something called Claude Mythos Preview. The most powerful model ever, and they're not making it publicly available. That's why. Mythos is so capable of finding security vulnerabilities that Anthropic doesn't feel safe releasing it to everyone. They ran it over the past few weeks, and it found thousands of zero-day vulnerabilities across every major operating system and every major web browser. Some had been sitting undetected for decades. One bug found in OpenBSD was 27 years old. So instead of a public launch, Anthropic created Project Glasswing, a partnership with companies like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, and CrowdStrike. The goal is to use Mythos Preview for defensive security work first, and the bugs before attackers do. And there's ZI, formerly known as G-Tro AI. They just dropped GLM 5.1, an open source model built specifically for long, complex engineering tasks. Here's what makes it stand out. Most AI agents can do maybe 20 steps on their own before they lose the thread. GLM 5.1 can do 1,700 steps, and it can work autonomously on a single task for up to 8 hours. In a demo, it built an entire Linux-style desktop environment from scratch in 8 hours. Full file browser, terminal, text editor, games. Human prompting during the run. Also topped SWE Bench Pro, one of the toughest coding benchmarks out there, beating GPT 5.4, Claude Opus 4.6, and Gemini 3.1 Pro. And it's fully open source under the MIT license. 3 of these updates are pointing toward the same thing. AI that doesn't just answer your prompts, AI that works toward goals. Which brings us to Google. When I first started working with tools like Jules, I was overwhelmed trying to figure out which workflows were worth the time and which ones were just hype. That's actually why I created a community called AI Profit Boardroom. We've got over 2,000 members all focused on learning AI together and sharing what actually works. It taught me which implementations save time versus which ones waste it. People share real use cases and practical setups. If you're serious about using AI to improve your work and build real skills, the link is in the description. Before we talk about G-Tro, you need to know what Jules is, because G-Tro is the next version of it. Jules is Google's existing AI coding agent. It connects directly to your code repositories, works on tasks like fixing bugs and writing tests, and the key thing that made it different from tools like Cursor is that it works asynchronously. You hand it a task, it goes off and works in the background, and when it's done, it shows you what it did and why. You don't have to sit and wait. Jules is currently available on free and paid tiers through Google AI Pro and Ultra. It's a solid tool. But G-Tro is something meaningfully different. G-Tro is the internal name Google is using for Jules V2. Based on what's been discovered in the code and messaging around it, it's a complete rethinking of how developers work with AI agents. It's the core shift. With Jules right now, and with pretty much every other coding agent on the market, you tell the AI what to do. Write this function, fix this bug, update this dependency. You're the one deciding each step. G-Tro is being built around high-level goal setting instead. You don't tell it what to do. You tell it what you want to achieve. Or error rates, better test coverage, improved accessibility compliance. And G-Tro figures out what needs to change in the code base to get there. That's a completely different mental model. You stop being the person writing instructions and start being the person setting objectives. I want to be clear, this is based on evidence in the code and messaging around the project. G-Tro hasn't officially launched yet. Google is expected to announce it at Google I/O 2026, which kicks off May 19th. So everything we're talking about here is well sourced, but still pre-launch. So what do we actually know about how G-Tro works? G-Tro has a dedicated workspace. It means it's not a one-shot tool. It's a persistent collaborator with its own view of your project and goals over time. You create goals inside that workspace, high-level objectives you want to move toward. G-Tro breaks those into actionable tasks, works through them, and reports back as it makes progress. It connects to your existing tools through MCP remote servers and API integrations. And it's not fire and forget. You set the goal, review the approach, approve the direction. You stay in control. Google already built transparency into Jules, where it shows reasoning before making changes. G-Tro extends that to the goal level. You see what it's trying to do before it does it. So what should you actually be watching for when G-Tro launches? It's the waitlist. Google is expected to roll G-Tro out under a waitlist model, not a broad public release. Sign up as soon as that opens if you want early access. Second, the trust question. The biggest barrier to adopting something like G-Tro isn't going to be capability. It's going to be trust. Do you trust an agent to pursue a goal across your codebase without doing something unintended? Google's transparency-first approach with Jules suggests they're building G-Tro with that in mind. Test it carefully before giving it free rein. Third, watch Google I/O on May 19th. That's almost certainly where Google officially announces G-Tro, shows demos, and gives us the full picture. And before we wrap up, here are a few things you can do right now to get ready. If you haven't used Jules yet, go try it on the free tier. Get comfortable with how async coding agents work before G-Tro drops. Start thinking in goals, not tasks. G-Tro will ask you to define what you want to achieve, not what you want done. It's a performance, fewer bugs, cleaner architecture. Practice describing your work that way now, and start measuring your code base. Rates, test coverage, accessibility scores. Those are the kinds of objectives G-Tro is built to work toward. That's the full picture on Google G-Tro. From what Jules is today, to what G-Tro is being built to become, to everything else happening in the AI space this week. We're watching the shift from AI that follows instructions to AI that pursues goals. Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, and ZDI are all moving in that direction at the same time. That's not a coincidence. If you want to dive deeper into AI tools and actually implement them in your work, I recommend AI Profit Boardroom. For 2,000 people learning how to use AI effectively. Everyone shares real experiences. What's working? What's not? Which tools are worth your time? Which ones to skip? Hype. It's practical guidance from people doing the work. Link in the description if you want to check it out. And if you want the full process, SOPs, and over 100 AI use cases like this one, join the AI Success Lab. Links in the comments and description. You'll get all the video notes from there, plus access to our community of 58,000 members who are putting AI to work every day. If this video helped, hit like and subscribe. More updates coming as this space keeps moving. See you in the next one.